When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world. Septum Sin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sen vs. the World. I'm Septum Sen. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Hey?
And we're sorry about the wind and all this, but we are on vacation.
Vacation.
So, of course, we're enjoying ourselves out here on the Outer Banks. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming out.
Yeah.
Because vacation isn't going to deter us from bringing that lovely DVD info to you.
Uh-huh.
Roll that beautiful DVD footage right now. Oh,
Very nice.
So we've got a couple of things that are coming out, and I might have to lift the shades briefly to see it because it's hard to see what I've written down here. The first one I have seen is this. They've been re-releasing some of the Charlie Brown Christmas and other specials on Blu-ray. So you've got the Christmas and the Thanksgiving special being released, and that's pretty cool. The Christmas, of course, is famous. It was the first one, I believe.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the Thanksgiving special is very famous for another reason: segregation. Because if you look closely at the Thanksgiving table, the one black kid is on one side and all the other kids are on the other side. It's actually kind of funny.
Well, and of course the Charlie Brown specials are also very notable in that they taught Americans from a young age how to bully other kids.
Well, yeah, I think that's been how Charlie Brown's always been.
Yeah.
But classics every year. The Christmas one without a hitch.
I enjoy the Christmas one. Don't get me wrong. I don't know that I've seen the Thanksgiving one, but I've not often.
We will remedy that if you decide you haven't. We'll watch it this year.
But Charlie Brown is the lovable goof that everyone else treats like crap, especially that bitch Lucy. And it's just, but Linus and Lucy is one of the best songs ever written for a piece of TV or movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes.
And stay tuned for our pickups video, because at the end of our pickups video, we're going to get up and I'm going to take this camera, pan it down so you can see our view from our lovely beach house.
Uh-huh. All right. Now, speaking of collections of classics getting potentially a format upgrade or whatever, we have a 4K collection coming out. Edgar Wright collection featuring World's End, Shaun of the Dead, and Hot Fuzz. Despite what you have here where it says World's End, Shaun of the Dead, and World's End. I still have not seen World's End. I think I did a pickup on that just a couple weeks ago. But Hot Fuzz was great. It was a good, fun movie. And Shaun of the Dead I always thought was overrated, but it's still a good, fun movie. And I just realized how freaking weird that I'm doing 2 zombie films this week. That's weird. But they're good, fun films. It's definitely worth a look. I don't know that I necessarily feel the need to upgrade to 4K for these films.
Yeah.
But if you don't have them, it's a nice compact package for all of them.
And this collection's long been out on Blu-ray and DVD. It's just they finally have upgraded it to 4K.
All right.
So the next is another classic they have had out on DVD, but are upgrading it to Blu-ray, which is the Jetsons. You can own all of the Jetsons on Blu-ray.
Probably should get that.
Now, if you don't know the Jetsons, you're probably in a younger generation than myself, but it used to be on TV with the Flintstones and other like that. You had the Stone Age and the Space Age. It was all what people envisioned in a comical way what the future or the past might be like.
Right.
So, again, some of the humor doesn't quite hold up with today's norms.
No.
But neither does I Love Lucy, and that's a classic as well.
Right. So, I mentioned 2 zombie films. Okay, now, there are relatively few, there have been some surprising movies coming out the last couple of years. But I think relatively few surprised me that when I found out that Jim freaking Jarmusch, of all people, was doing a zombie film. And I think, don't hold me to this, and if you know better, by all means leave a comment, I think it's a remake of a TV movie from the 70s. I could be wrong. But he did a movie called The Dead Don't Die. And like most Jim Jarmusch films, it features Bill Murray. It also features a number of other impressive people. I don't remember the cast offhand, but it's an impressive cast. Now, if you've never seen any Jim Jarmusch films, and you're like, what are you talking about? Why is this so weird? This is a very, very, very artsy auteur director. He did movies like Coffee and Cigarettes and The Dead Man and Broken Flowers, and I think this is like his 5th film with Bill Murray. The 2 of them work together frequently. So the last time Bill Murray did a zombie film, it was Zombieland, and that freaking rocked. So I'm thinking I have hopes for this. I am not a big zombie person by nature, but I do have a hold on it from the library, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
All right. Of course, the next one is the 3rd in a very strong series, John Wick 3. I have the first 2, yet I have not seen them. But I need to get the 3rd on Steelbook because I've got the other 2 on Steelbook. And I've heard that it is a very good series, and that Keanu Reeves is quite good in his action persona. He kills people with pencils.
Ooh.
Over a dog.
Now, I have heard John Wick is a good series. Now, I will admit I was kind of bored by Atomic Blonde, and that's from the same director, so I don't know. We'll get to it eventually. I have a couple of anime this week, and one of them I have not seen, I know very little about, but I'm somewhat curious about, and it's once again part of the Essentials line, so I guess I have to see it.
Oh, yeah.
But Funimation is re-releasing this is like a brand new series from like last year, I think. They're already doing Essentials for My Girlfriend is a Gal, which, of course, gal culture, they're like the ones that are really made up and kind of like, you know, it's kind of looked down on in a lot of corners of Japan.
Almost Valley Girl-ish.
Valley Girl would be a good way to put it, I think, from what I understand of it.
I only know it from Super Gals.
Yeah, Super Gals is great. If this is near... Super Gals got a little girly and a little cheesy, and it's hard to sit and watch. It's more, you know... If this one's kind of in that vein, though, it could be worth a watch. But, it's an essential.
Well, next on our list is another anime, but this one from the classics, which is Full Metal Panic. We've had the original out on Classic Edition for a while now, So, of course, it needs to be joined by Second Raid and Fumafu. Great series. Fumafu is still one of my favorites. I love that one. It's almost all comedy. That one is. Whereas the other two are far more serious. It's a mecha anime. It is a good, strong series with good characters and a decent story. If you haven't watched it, this might be the time to pick that up.
Especially because the fourth series is still relatively recent, and it's good to go back and catch what came before. But this series does have a weird trajectory. Second Raid is technically the third series.
Yes.
Fumafu is the second series. And like you said, it's more comedic, but it still, story-wise, does cover some bases that you might want to hit before Second Raid.
It is canonical.
Right.
It's just comedy.
Right. And most of them, like even the regular series and Second Raid, have comedy in them. They're nice blend of action and comedy.
Oh, yeah.
They're early KyoAni productions, so they're gorgeous animation and great songs. I think God, why am I Mikawa? No, that's not the name.
I don't know.
Oh man, I feel horrible because I like her so much. But the young lady who did the opening theme for Kino's Journey does, I think, all the themes for Full Metal Panic, and so they're really good themes, especially the theme to the first series. My other anime is one I have not yet seen, but I do own. And I have the original 2-part DVD release from Sentai Filmworks, so I'll probably one of these days need to slim down and get the Blu-ray complete collection. But it's a really fun-looking series called The Book of An Tora. I know relatively little about the particulars, except that from what I understand, it's about a bunch of treasure seekers, kind of an Indiana Jones vibe from what I understand. Except that the cover art very prominently features a sexy, busty female. So there's a little bit of a different vibe to it. But one of the cool things about it is I want to say that they work for a library, if I'm remembering that correctly. So as someone who works for a library, I approve. But it looks like fun. It is one that seriously has been on my to-watch pile for way too long. But it is one that I'm pretty sure this is the second complete collection that Sentai has done.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe they added a dub or
Something.
I'm not sure what's new about this.
It's not the first time it's been on Blu-ray.
Yes.
My last one is also a series that has not been released on Blu-ray as a collection. It has been released on Blu-ray as individuals, and that is Paranormal Activity. Now, to me, if you're not like me and have to have every movie in a series, really all you need is the first two.
Right.
And I'm not even sure that these are Blu-ray films, but they have been known for doing a lot with very little. And the first two have some good scares to them. I watched it in a crowded theater with a bunch of 5-year-olds.
I watched it in an empty theater.
He watched it in an empty theater, but both of us had scares from it. So, still worth checking out.
Now, and I will say, and I have said all along, and I say with all seriousness, the first film should have been an Oscar contender for sound. Because they really, this is where the Blu-ray would be a good way to do it. They really did pay attention to sound, and that is one of the biggest things. So if this version has the sound completely cleaned up, that'd be pretty cool. So my last one that I'm going to cover is Disney, of course, has been trying to oversaturate the market with live-action remakes of their animated movies, and this summer saw the release of the Aladdin remake. So to coincide with its home video release, they're also doing a re-release of the original Aladdin animated film. Now, Aladdin was one that unfortunately fell victim to some controversy. Disney had to change the lyrics in their opening song because it offended the anti-American or Arab American Anti-Defamation League. Their overall treatment of the Middle East is at best culturally insensitive, and they screwed over Robin Williams, causing a rift between him and Disney that took several years to heal. But on the other hand, they gave Robin Williams one of the best roles he ever had, or unfortunately, ever had. And Genie was a classic. And it's still a fun movie with some great music. Friend Like Me is a great song. Whole New World is a great song. The overall music. So I have not yet seen the remake. From what I understand, it at least more or less does justice to the original. But this one was not without its share of controversy as well. The biggest one for me, I could not believe this. I could not believe my ears, talking about cultural insensitivity. They were looking for basically any Asian-ish, particularly Middle Eastern, but, Asian-ish actors who could sing and dance, and complained they couldn't find any. And I'm like, well, what is the biggest movie-making machine on the planet? It's not Hollywood, it's Bollywood. And, well, what are Bollywood films famous for? Singing and dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Disney. But they did end up casting some people who, from what I understand, were decent choices. I'd have to check, but I think the dude that plays Jafar is the dude that played Ra's al Ghul on Gotham, so that's kind of cool if I'm right about that. But I'm curious about it. If you somehow never saw the original Aladdin, jump on this chance, watch it. It has its flaws, but it's still a fun movie, and it's still worth a look. Now, God knows if they'll ever put the animated series on home video. Probably not, but...
Well, I hope you've liked this particular video.
Yes.
Of course, hit like if you like it, subscribe, and share.
Okay.
We're going to be back at it next week, as per usual. But to tide you over, I'm going to leave you with a picture of us at the beach. Goodbye.
Okay.